YouTube? I'm back with another episode review of Boruto Naruto Next Generation, and it was a pretty good episode because there's a lot of things that happened that I'm actually glad happened, because right now I'm officially a blind viewer because I've only read up until that point in the manga, so that's pretty cool. But the episode started with I think Kawaki looking at the horizon, which is interesting that they started the episode with that. So I'm guessing that we'll see him, encounter Boruto and Team 7 in the near future, So yeah, man, I just thought that the way that they started the episode with Kawaki was really, really interesting. Now, a few episodes ago, we saw how Konohamaru and Mugino were attacked by some people, but in this week's episode, we learned that these people, quote-unquote, were actually puppets, and these puppets also attacked Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Katasuke. So that was pretty interesting. Something that I thought was also pretty funny is that these puppets remind me a lot of the aliens in the Alien movies, so I thought that was pretty funny. But the most intriguing part about these puppets is that they can move by themselves. They're very different than any other puppets that we've seen in the Naruto verse before. We've seen Kankuro and Sasori control puppets, with their chakra string, but we haven't seen something like that before. Puppets moving by themselves and actually using attacks, Something else that we learned is that these puppets are, scientific ninja tools, which is different than anything we've seen before, So I thought that was pretty interesting. I think that maybe we've seen these kind of puppets in the Naruto the last movie. I'm not really sure, but I thought all of that was pretty intriguing. We also saw how Katasuke has a scientific ninja tool power suit. It's pretty bulky, but his power suit can actually absorb ninjutsu, which is reminiscing of Bumoshiki, in the Chunin exam, how he was able to absorb any ninjutsu. So that was pretty cool that Katasuke actually has something like that. It's a pretty bulky kind of suit, so I don't think that it's going to be used that much in the series before it's more advanced. But I thought Katasuke actually did something well. But the reason why these puppets are scientific ninja tools and everything, and it seems like they're pretty advanced, is because of how Katasuke was put in a genjutsu in the Chunin exam, and because of that the Kara organization took some intel from Katasuke on how to produce these scientific ninja tools. So we already knew that, but they reiterated it in this week's episode. So that's one of the reasons why the Kara organization right now are more advanced technologically than any other people in the Naruto verse, I'm guessing. There was a scene between Code and Jigen in the Kara organization, and Code tried to hit Jigen, but it didn't work because it seems like Jigen is way better than Code. So I'm guessing Code is doing that a lot. So I thought it was a pretty cool scene. There was also a scene between Code and Delta, and Delta was basically saying that he's not the favorite, and the favorite is, I think, Cash and Koji, and the only thing that Codes want from Jigen, I'm guessing, is to acknowledge him, So I thought all of that was a pretty cool scene, getting to know more of the Kara members and getting to know what their goal is, Anyhow, we saw how Team 7 and Katasuke were able to beat the puppets. They actually had to crush their skulls so that they couldn't really revive themselves, and then they went to search for Konohamaru and Mugino. They were alright. Mugino was badly injured, but Konohamaru was alright, and I'm glad because I was kind of scared of what could have happened to him. But he still has this scroll that he downloaded from, this vessel that was in the airship, so we still don't know what is in it. But then we saw how Ao came to the cave that they were in, and we already know that he's working with or for the Kara organization. We don't know why, but he arrived at the scene basically wanting to kill everyone that was there, and he had a machine gun, which is crazy to me that there's a machine gun in the Naruto verse, but that machine gun was shooting like fireballs or something. So that was still crazy to me that we're seeing all this technology in the Naruto verse. But seeing Ao as a villain, is kind of crazy because in the Naruto Shippuden he was a guard of the Mizukage. So seeing him like that just makes me ask a lot of question about him. Why is he bad? Why did he turn? Why is he not a shinobi anymore? So there's a lot of things that I want to ask about Ao. The fight sequence was okay. We saw how he was shooting fireballs from the machine gun. We saw how Boruto was able to destroy, not Boruto, but Konohamaru was able to destroy the machine gun with a Rasengan. And then we saw how Ao was able to take one of the gauntlets from Katasuke so that he can absorb ninjutsu. So the battle sequence wasn't anything special, but just seeing Ao there, in the cave fighting Team 7, Konohamaru, Katasuke, and Mugino was crazy to me because he was once a good person. So I'm just wondering what happened to him. So the most interesting part of this fight isn't really a fight, it's a quote. It's something that Ao said. He said that he's not a shinobi anymore, he's a tool. So is he saying that he's a tool to the Kara organization, or he's a tool because his body right now is kind of like a scientific ninja tool, because he has a lot of weapons on himself that he can use and everything, because he's kind of a machine right now because of all the injuries that he had. So I thought that quote was pretty interesting. But yeah, he stole one of the gauntlets from Katasuke and was able to absorb a Rasengan from Boruto, which was interesting. I think we've seen something like that before, even Momoshiki, I'm not really sure, but it's a pretty good ninja tool that Katasuke has made, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I still have a lot of question about Ao. We saw how Mugino kind of sacrifice himself so that Team 7 and Katasuke could escape, because it seems like Ao, because of all these weapons on him, is pretty strong. So yeah, man, Mugino died, I think. I don't know how I feel about that, because I wasn't really invested in his character. For me, he was always like a filler character, so I don't know how I feel about him. But yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff that happened that we still don't have answers to, especially Ao and the reason why he's working with the Kara organization. So I'm guessing that we'll learn more about that in the next few episodes, because he actually wants to kill the people that knows about the airship and the quote-unquote vessel. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I do both on Naruto Next Generation reviews every Sunday morning, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Attack on Titan reviews on Sundays, Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays, Dr. Stone and Promised Neverland reviews on Thursdays, and then I do Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on Fridays, and usually do One Piece reviews on Saturdays. But I didn't do one this week. It's coming back next week, so stay tuned. But yeah, man, follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, and like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.